Hello, everybody, and welcome to Edge for Vets. My name is Tom Murphy, and I run the Human Resiliency Institute at Fordham that offers the program. Let me just give you the background. In the upper left, you see Edge for Vets. This is a program, when we say veterans, we're talking veterans, National Guard, active duty who are transitioning, spouses. The program is all inclusive for military personnel. The program has 4 parts, which I will describe to you today, go into full detail on what the 4 elements are. But the objective is to give you an edge, vets. And again, when I say vets, I'm talking about everybody on the military personnel spectrum. But the whole objective is to give you an edge to get hired for a job that can lead to a career. So let me go to the first slide and give you a sense of the goal here. The goal is to, as you see, get you a job, but we're not looking just to get you any job or get you something that can tide you over until September, that kind of thing. The whole purpose of Edge for Vets is to help you identify your military strengths so that you can match your skills and interests to a job that can lead to a career and give you the life that you want. And you see below, there are really 2 elements to how this works. We call it prep and connect. We started Edge for Vets. For those of you who are new with us, we started Edge for Vets in 2011, so I've been doing it for 10 years. And we looked around at that point and we saw there were job fairs, well-intentioned efforts to help vets get jobs. But the missing piece with the job fairs, which largely could be hit or miss, the missing piece was to offer preparation in advance of trying to connect you. So that's what this workshop series seeks to do, is to prepare you, as you see above, to help you translate those strengths in the military and put them into tools that can work for you to land a job that can lead to a career. And saying that, let me break out for you the agenda today, what we're going to do. We've got 40 vets in our cohort this spring. This is the spring workshop series. And we've got 40 vets in the cohort. And a good many of them are with us today, along with the mentors from our partner companies, which I'll describe in a moment, as well as some guests, business executives, veterans who have a great deal of interest in supporting you and have joined us today. So what I'm going to talk about is how the program works, what you gain, but also what you do, because Edge for Vets is a partnership, meaning that we'll help you get in the door to land that job that can lead to a career. But there's responsibility we put on you as well in this translation process to work with us. And step 1 in that process is what we call prepare. And that's where Edge for Vets helps you create a personal plan for success. And I'm going to go into all of the specifics of that, but it's that plan for success that we help you create that is going to give you the edge with the HR folks and with the goal of having somebody say yes to you and get you started on a pathway to a job and a career. Step 2 is the connection phase. So step 1 today, the preparation phase, this is Zoom 1 to provide the orientation. And then we come back step 2 in 2 weeks and we connect you to the HR reps at our partner companies. So 2 weeks from today, April 23rd, you're going to meet the HR reps from our partner companies today. I'm going to break out, for you who they are, but they're going to come back and they'll have the floor in 2 weeks to showcase not only their companies, but the kind of opportunities that they offer for you so that you can take the preparation that you do in advance of that connection and match your skills and interests to jobs at the company. So you see how we work. Prep and connect means something. And today is the focus on that preparation piece. And you see I put it in blue there, but the essential part of the preparation is the online course. And I'm going to go into full details on how after today's session, the orientation session, where again, we talk about what the program is and the benefits that you gain. We're going to give you access to the online course, and you're going to have 2 weeks to work on that and create your plan. And again, I'll go into full details on that. But the last bullet there, very critical. If you can, please go and veterans, I'm going to ask you if you will put veteran, if you're a veteran and looking for work, put your name and your email address in the chat. So I'm going to ask everybody, if you'll go into the chat now, vets, put vet, so we know that you're a vet, and then your name and your email. This is how we're going to stay in contact with you. And mentors and guests, you could do the same thing, put mentor and put your name and whether you're a guest or the company that you represent, so that we can keep you posted as well. So I'm just going to underscore that one more time. That's very critical so that we know who we have with us. We've got 40 vets in our cohort this spring. Many of them are with us today, but for the ones who are not with us, we'll be reaching out with them to get them a copy of this video and work with them to get in the game. Saying that, the next phase is, I'm going to give you an image. I say tee it up. The whole purpose of NYEdge4Vets is to tee it up for you. So I thought I would use an image for that. As you see, we put the golf ball on the tee, get it ready for you. The driver goes in your hands. We tee it up for you. We help you get the preparation to translate your strengths, create a plan for success, make connections with those decision makers who can hire you, and then it's up to you to just take it and drive the ball down the field 300 yards. And we're going to help you do that. All right, so let me break out for you the two parts again. Today is the preparation, 90 minutes. Again, we're going to talk about how the program works. You're going to get a chance to meet the mentors from the HR companies. We're actually going to start work on a draft of your plan for success. Vets, you all received from me a copy of the NYEdge4Vets workbook. And I'm going to invite you today, as you know, we do a little work on helping you create a draft. You can take notes for yourself and use those when it comes time to take the online course. So if you could, just work along with us. You've got the copy of the workbook. Following this session, we're going to give you the access code to take the online course, and you're going to have 2 weeks to work at your own pace, to watch a series of videos, do exercises, and create that plan for success. And again, that's the purpose today. I'm going to take you through that process, give you a complete comfort level on what it is, how it works, the benefits that you gain. So that's going to be the core of the preparation piece. Then we come back April 23rd, 2 weeks for another 90-minute session. And this is where the folks in the partner companies, the HR reps, the decision makers, are going to showcase their companies and talk to you about the job opportunities with them. And the beauty is that we're going to send you the contact information for those contacts at each of the companies. And we're going to send your contact information to them. And so it says, you win twice. And I think that's critical to underscore, because one of the things that we hear from the vets is that it's very frustrating. Everything's done online today, necessarily so. But, if you don't know anybody, you don't have a network, somebody that you can work with to apply, then the problem becomes that you apply online and possibly never hear back. It could fall in the cracks. So the whole purpose of NYEdge4Vets on that connection piece is to give you contacts that when you apply online for the company, you're going to know the person on the decision-making side, that you're going to be able to send them a note to let them know that you have applied. And that's one of the real key benefits that you're going to get from this program. So look at it as bookends, folks. On one side, the prep, on the other side, the connection, and in the middle is the core, which is the online course, which I'm going to talk about today and how it works. But the online course, you're going to have a chance to work at your own pace and watch videos and take exercises and create that plan for success that's going to give you the edge. All right. Sourcing into the program, we've got folks that we work with. We put together sourcing partners, those who have access to vets in the community, and we give them the flyer for the workshop, as we've done. They circulate it out to you. So any of our vets who've joined us today, you've come in through the sourcing mechanism, the sourcing system that we created. And I do want to introduce our sourcing partners, starting with Fordham and with Matt Butler, who is the head of the Veterans Program at Fordham. And if you could just say a quick hello and talk about Fordham, because our institute, the Resiliency Institute that offers NYEdge for Vets, is inside Fordham. And so we work very closely with you, Matt, and love to hear you just, talk about what Fordham does for veterans.
Well, thanks, Tom. Hello, everyone, veterans and mentors, and even veteran alumni of Fordham. Welcome. So NYEdge for Vets is really something that we promote heavily at Fordham, because what it is it's a career accelerator, meaning, we speak a language in the military, and certainly translating that language into something that is actionable, that can help you and support you in your career goals and opportunities is really important. And that's something that the NYEdge for Vets program does. So for instance, if you've ever, written a 5-paragraph order or an operation order, what does that mean to an employer and how valuable is that? Well, the NYEdge for Vets program gives you an opportunity to translate that language into something that employers certainly want and desire in their employees. So certainly put a lot of effort into it. As far as an accelerator program, this opens you up to a network that is amazing with different employers that are here to give you some personal time and attention to help you with your career goals. And that is a very valuable thing. So put in the work and for your plan for success, and it'll pay off in the long run, certainly. And certainly the Office of Military and Veteran Services at Fordham is here to help you. And our Assistant Director, Stephen Hellman, is on as well. And we just offer the full wraparound services for veterans as they make their transition from the military, higher education, but certainly the full veteran life cycle, which includes careers.
Thank you, Matt. And thank you, Steve, for all the great work that you guys do. In addition to Fordham, we have a partnership with the CUNY system, which has 24 schools. Lisa Biathe is the head of the Veterans Program for CUNY, and she works with us to connect CUNY vets to this program. We've got other private schools such as NYU, Columbia, et cetera, in the city that work with us to source vets. USO works with us. I'm not sure if Jessica Andrews is with us. Jessica was going to try to join us today. Jessica, are you there? Okay, well, let me just acknowledge that USO is a strong partner along with the Veterans Administration, the New York City Veterans Office. The point is, and I think you heard it from Matt, is that we cast a very broad net in the city to get the word out that this service is available to veterans and bring you into this system of prep to translate your strengths so that we can then move to the next step, which is to connect you to the employer network. So look at it again, bookends. NYEdge for Vets creates a system for sourcing on one side, and then on the other side, we create a network of employers eager to hire vets, and we play that middle ground to bring you in, give you a workshop to translate your strengths, create a plan for success, and then we connect you. The formal connection that we're going to do in the workshop series will happen 2 weeks from now, where each of these companies at that point, they will showcase their job opportunities and explain how you apply to them. But I would like to at least acknowledge them today and give you, a chance to see who's here and have them say a quick hello. I do want to spend the bulk of today on preparation to give you a sense of how to create your plan for success so that you can be connected effectively. But it's useful to see who those folks on the connection side are. So Macquarie, one of our longtime partners, been with us, and Steve Giaconetti, I believe, is with us. And Steve, you brought a team. I think you've got Gus, Bobby, Alyssa. You've got several folks with you. Again, 2 weeks from now, you're going to have a chance to showcase Macquarie and talk specifically about job openings and what the folks do. But if you could just give a quick hello, Steve, and introduce your folks so that our vets can see who's here from Macquarie.
Definitely. Thanks, Tom. Steve Giaconetti, Macquarie Global Services. We're a Australian-based financial services firm. In the US, we have about 2,600 staff. spread out across offices in New York, Philadelphia, Houston, Jacksonville, Chicago, and many others. With me, we have friends of mine from Macquarie across the region. You know, it used to be when this was in person, it was always in New York, but it's great. We've got people who've been able to join us from other offices. So I'll just run around the table real quick and ask them to say hi. Gus?
Yeah, Gus Wong in risk management. Pleased to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Gus. Alyssa?
Hi, Alyssa McMahon in Corporate Affairs from the exotic land of New Jersey.
Thanks, Alyssa. Bobby?
Bobby Lopez, e-discovery and surveillance. I'm currently in Philadelphia.
Thanks, Bobby. And Bobby's an alumni as well. We'll talk about that at some point, I'm sure. Vic?
Hi, Vic Ephraim. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm in the financial management group, and I'm also the co-chair of the Veterans at Macquarie Employee Network Group.
Thank you, Vic. And Jim?
Yes, thanks. It's Jim Holderman. I'm currently in White Plains, New York, and I'm in the risk management group. I work with Gus on a variety of issues.
Thanks, Jim. Tom, that's all of us.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Stephen. Again, thanks for your longtime support for what we're doing, and we're eager in 2 weeks to have you and the team back to talk the specifics about what the opportunities at Macquarie are. But thanks for the brief introduction of everybody. Let me just continue down the list. We've got another very strong supporter for the program, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Denise Koster is our point person there. Denise will be with us 2 weeks from now to give a whole breakout on the bank and what the opportunities are. But I believe we have, if I'm not mistaken, we've got Lisa and Danielle with us today. Is Lisa here? Lisa, if you would just want to say a quick hello.
Yes, hi, how are you? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really honored and excited to be here. This is my first time at this event, and I would just like to take a moment to thank everyone for their service to our country, and also let you all know that with the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and the mission of the Federal Reserve Bank is to make the U.S. economy safer and stronger and make the financial system safer. And so we're very excited to be engaging with this group and look forward to seeing everyone on the 23rd. I don't know if Danielle is on and if she would like to say anything.
Is Danielle here? I'd love to hear.
I am. Yes. Thank you so much. And thanks, Lisa. My name is Danielle Mendez. I'm an inclusion strategist here at the New York Fed. I will actually going forward be your point person from within human resources. And we're very excited about this partnership with Edge for Vets. Not all of our business representatives who will be attending the session, the following session later in the month, are on the call, but we're very excited, like I said, about this partnership and to see about opportunities, now and in the future, for your community. So thank you all for your service and for letting us be a part of this community.
Danielle and Lisa, thank you very much. You really, and with Steve, you're really underscoring a point as we go through the list here that vets, this is what we talk about when we say Edge for Vets can bring you value. Very often what we hear from veterans is you get out of the military, you've spent, 2 years, 5 years, however many years servicing the country, and you haven't built a network. So you come out of the military, you want a good job that can lead to a career, but you don't know anybody. And I think you're getting a sense here, vets, that one of the values that we provide through, of course, our employer network and our wonderful companies that support you is you've got somebody who takes an active interest in you. And again, 2 weeks from now, we'll go into all the specifics of that, but I want to continue down the list and just give you a sense of who we have here with us. I'm not sure if Annie Pena is with us today from Standard Chartered Bank. Is Annie here? Because I think Annie got called away or something and isn't back in the office until Monday, but let me just share that Standard Chartered has been a longtime supporter of ours, and we're grateful, and grateful especially for Annie, who was an Edge for Vet participant and became the point of contact for us at one of our sponsors. Let me say also that we're very excited that Edge for Vets is going to be expanding to New Jersey in the spring. And Valerie Green is the HR person over there who has, I hope, brought several of her members with us. New Jersey Transit has four key areas: admin, the bus and the rail side, the surface side, and the police. So they've got coordinators in each of those four areas. And if Valerie is on the call, I'd love Valerie to say a quick hello. And if you've got your HR reps with us, just to have them, show themselves as well. Okay, so Valerie, maybe
I'm on, Tom.
You're on. Okay, wonderful, Valerie. Just do a quick hello, and if you've got any of your HR team, one of the critical things, we're expanding to New Jersey, but you also hire folks, from the New York side as well. So please just say a quick hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Valerie Green, and I'm the HR Director for Administration at New Jersey Transit. I do have two members of my team that have joined us. One is from the corporate side, who's the director for corporate recruiting, as well as the other is the HR director for rail operations recruiting. New Jersey Transit is very gung-ho about joining Edge4Vets and getting veterans employed within the agency. Currently, the agency is broken into 4 areas. We do, as Tom mentioned, we have a rail operations side. We have the bus operations, which is now called surface transit because it does include the light rail area. We have corporate, which is every other position outside of operations, and then we have I think I said rail. Oh, and then we have police at the end. So it's a huge ecosystem that we have. All the areas, we do have various jobs throughout the agency where any one person will be eligible to kind of travel within the different parts of the agency based off of your experience and criteria that we're looking for. As I said before, we do have 2 people who are part of this call and this event today. So Lori, are you on?
I am.
All right, can you say hello? Or do you have the ability to show yourself? There we go.
I do. Hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Lori Sohn, and I'm the director, as Valerie said, for New Jersey Transit Corporate Strategic Staffing. What that is, as Valerie mentioned to you, everything outside of the other 3, all of the different corporate roles that we have in the company. We have about 12,000 employees overall, and we constantly have a lot of opportunities in the organization that we're hiring for. So we are certainly looking forward to working with you. We also appreciate all the service that you've given to our country, and we appreciate the opportunity to work with you, and we look forward to win-win situations for both you and New Jersey Transit. So thank you.
Great. Vicki, are you on as well? Vicki Frazier?
Yes, I am, Val.
There we go.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Vicki Frazier. I'm the director of the rail side of the business in terms of recruitment. I am very excited about working with vets. I have had a taste of some of the skills that they bring to the table. I know that they're rich. It's quite fertile ground for us. We know that those skills exist within that group, and we're ready to tap into it and to get them working.
Thank you, Vicki, and Valerie. We look forward to bringing the program to New Jersey with you, but also having your team participate with us in New York. So thank you. And when we come back in 2 weeks, we'll go into the specific job opportunities that you and your team offer.
Great. I do want to make a point, though, that New Jersey Transit, although most of our positions are within the state of New Jersey, we do have service that run into New York, Penn Station. We go all the way up to the Port Jarvis area in upstate New York, as well as down in the Pennsylvania state as well, in the Pennsylvania area. So we encompass the entire state of New Jersey, as well as the outlying points with our neighboring states.
Well, we're just delighted to have you as a leader to help us expand the scope and reach of the program, Val. So thank you to you and your team. I'm not sure if Melanie from CBS with us. Melanie, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hello, Melody. If you want to just say a quick hello.
Oh, okay. Well, hi. I'm really glad all you guys are here because I want to say that I'm a Fordham alumna and I know how much this program actually works and how wonderful the opportunities you guys have here are. So I was an English major. I'm a Marine vet and I'm currently working with Betty Diaz and Kelsey's our HR recruiter for Viacom CBS. So I'm really excited to be here. And if any of you guys have any questions about that experience since I'm an alumna, my email's there and I'm happy to talk to any of you guys about anything.
Yeah, that's an important point. Anybody who just joined us, and I know folks have been joining us along the way, make sure you go into the chat and put your name and your email so that we can keep in touch with you. So thank you for making that point, Melanie. Is Betty there? We could say a quick hello to her.
Yep, Betty's here.
Hi.
Just say hello.
Hi, everybody. So I'm the Director of Programs and Operations for the Veterans Network at Viacom CBS. As you know, that Viacom CBS is a content creation and distributor globally. So, but our group, Veterans Network, we're a mini foundation, I like to call us. We do a lot of outward-facing programs. So events like this is what we love. And we have our colleague, Kelsey, here. If you want to say hello, Kelsey.
Hi. Nice to meet you guys. Thanks for having me, and here to learn and just try to help as much as I can.
That's great. Well, we're just delighted to have you guys with us too. So thank you. And you see, also I put New York City SHRM. They've got 2,000 members, companies in the city. So sometimes a vet may come to us and have a specific company that they want to target, and we work very closely with SHRM, the HR organization, to help you if you've got something specific that you want to target. So we help you in that as well. So I wanted you to see, vets, the kind of support you're getting from the employer side. But in addition to that, we've got business executives there who have leadership roles in the city and are playing a leadership role with Edge for Vets to support you as well. And let me just see, I know we've got some of them. Let me just take a shot, see who's there. Is Jerry Byrne with us today? I know he was going to try to break out. Is Jerry there? Jerry is on the board of the Intrepid and has been a longtime supporter of the program. So we're grateful to him. Pamela Weinberg, I'm not sure if Pamela is with us today. Pamela, are you there? If not, I'll just, let me just share. Pamela is an expert in what we call helping vets hone your edge, meaning that after Edge for Vets, after you take the workshop series, we're going to be working with Pamela to set up a session in mid-May where after you create your plan for success and maybe you want to put a fine point on it, Pamela has been on the Today Show to help people take their strengths and polish them up to do interview prep and that kind of thing. And she has volunteered to participate in Edge for Vets and work with me to put together a workshop that we're going to call Hone Your Edge. I'll go into full details on that because Pamela's going to be joining us in 2 weeks for that session. But Pamela's illustrious father, Sander Flom, is there. Sander has been with Edge for Vets from the very, I'll put a whole string of varies on that, very beginning. Sander, do you want to just say a quick hello and just underscore for folks how critical you believe vets are to the city?
Well, it's great to be here always. I am Lieutenant Flom, now retired, former chairman of Havas Advertising. Did that for 15 years. And now I have my own company, Flom Navigators, and always there to be helpful to our fellow vets, always. Whatever you guys need, we're going to help you.
Thank you, Sander. And again, you know, I put a whole string of berries on how supportive you are of us and what we try to do. And in addition, Doug McCormick, who was the CEO of Lifetime Television at one point, among other things. And I believe Doug is joining us too. Doug, if you're there and you just want to underscore how critical you believe vets are to the economy in the city. Okay, Doug may be joining us in progress. Ed Riley, the former retired national chair of USO, also the chair currently of the USO in New York, metropolitan New York. Is Ed with us? I know he was with us earlier. I hope he's still on the line. Ed, are you there? Want to say hello?
Yeah, sure, Tom. I'm here. I'm very happy to be here today. This program keeps going from strength to strength. I think the addition of a lot of the new distance learning things that we put to it has enabled us to move this in a positive direction. I hope you'll all find that this is going to be at least a part of building a good transition plan and give you some insight into what the world of work in the civilian world is going to be like compared to what all of the incredible accomplishments all of you have made in your military careers. And we hope that we'll be here, both at the beginning and all the way through if we can be helpful in helping you transition that sort of chasm between what it's like to work in the civilian world as opposed to the military world. So welcome to all of you. Thank you for all you've done for us. And we'll do our best to try and make sure you end up with a great career in New York City or the environments or anywhere else around the country.
Thanks, Ed, and thanks for all you've done for us from the very beginning.
Hey, Tom, I'm sorry, this is Doug. I had to take myself off mute, so pardon me.
Great. All right. I'm glad you're there, Doug. I knew you were there earlier. I didn't know if you were able to stay with us. I just shared with folks that you were the CEO of Lifetime Television. You've had many executive roles in the city, but just, underscore, as you heard from Ed, the value that you believe veterans bring to the economy in New York and the reason that you support them so strongly.
Well, I think now more than ever, right? New York needs sharp people that are well skilled, and the challenges that face us are best met, in my mind, through people that have a military background. In addition to expressing my thanks for all the service that all of you have given, I think now is the time for people of your caliber to help us all out of the mess that we're in New York.
Well, and you and all the others we're hearing from, your constant, participation in Edge for Vets is tangible evidence of that support. So thanks, Doug. I'm grateful. We've got Pat Curran, who also has been with us from the beginning, West Point grad, Fordham grad. Pat is with Pfizer, but anyway, if you're still there, Pat, why don't you say hello?
Yeah, so thank you, Tom, and hello, everyone. My name is Patrick Kern. As Tom mentioned, I've been here since 2011. I was finishing up my MBA program at Fordham at the time, part-time student, being at Pfizer since 2002. So my role in this is simply to be, a mentor, help anyone with their transition. Like all the other mentors on the line, we've helped probably, dozens, maybe hundreds at this point of veterans come back to civilian job sector or even just manage their reserve time and trying to make a way for themselves with not just, as Tom says, not just a job, but a career, and a career that has purpose and meaning, just like the military. So glad to be here, Tom. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to supporting everyone on the line.
Thanks, Pat. And Jimmy Galvin, are you there? Just want to say a quick hello.
Yes, always a pleasure, Tom. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for their time and service. It's a joy to be a part of this program, which for me, I think is running up to 10 years now. So a lot of kind of where I come from with this program is to really show that the vets are what I like to say, a proven commodity.
Great. And
today's workplace. So I think you guys are very fitting for it.
Thank you, Jimmy. Yeah, you've been with us all the way back to your days with Deutsche Bank. So thank you. And Greg Pappas is there from Northwestern Mutual, I believe, if Greg is still with us, one of our guests today. Greg, do you want to just say a quick hello? Okay, well, in any case.
Thanks, Tom, for inviting me.
Are you there, Greg?
I'm here. I'm here. Thank you for inviting me. Recently retired from Fordham University after 43 years, and I'm now working with Northwestern as a recruiter. It's a position as a financial rep. And one of the reasons I'm on this is to learn more about Edge for Vets and get to know you. Veterans do extremely well. They're very successful. They have that entrepreneurial spirit, that drive, that dedication, self-discipline to do well in our industry. And I welcome the opportunity to meet you in the future.
Thank you, Greg. And thank you, everybody, for on the employer side. Let me just for anybody who's new with this, this is only going to take 3 minutes, but I'm going to show you a video that's going to introduce, I've been talking about the plan for success and the fact that it has 4 parts to it. Let me, since I've been using the golf metaphor, let me tee it up with this video and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Vets, you've served our country, now you're home and thinking about a job. But how often have you applied and never heard back? That can be frustrating. That's why we created Edge for Vets, to open the world for you. The Edge for Vets workshop series offers a unique system of prep and connect. We blend workshop training with one-on-one mentoring provided by business executives from our partner companies. Mentors participate with you in the translation process and help you become job ready. Then mentors show you how to build a network of contacts while HR reps from our partner companies connect you to job opportunities.
All of the people I've met here have had a remarkable experience and great development in their military service. Business is looking for people like this. What I think is what Edge for Vets does such a good job of helping people understand the translation from military experience into civilian experience, a way that they can think about civilian jobs that helps them understand where they would like to go, and then to be able to explain their skills and their experiences in a military setting and how important and valuable that can be to a civilian interviewer who maybe has no military experience but understands how to value people with strong personal traits and a commitment to cause.
A facilitator leads the discussion and suggests topics. There are 4 key elements that make up the Edge for Vets curriculum. They are vision, values, skills, and action. Vision, step 1. Mentors help you get clear about the kind of work you want to do for the life that you want. Step 2, values. Mentors help you identify the values you developed in the military, values that can make you valuable to companies. Step 3, skills. Mentors help you gain clarity on the skills you developed in the military and help you develop confidence expressing those skills in civilian terms. Step 4, action. Mentors help you match your interests and skills to companies looking to hire vets. Vets say this blend of instruction and mentoring really works. And so do the mentors.
What Edge for Vets teaches you as a veteran is to take those skills that you've already obtained through 4, 5, 8 years of military service and translate them into terms that a civilian employer can actually understand, because you actually already have obtained the skills. And I think once you realize that, and that's a big part of the transition, is realizing that you do bring a lot of worth to the corporate sector. How do I tell my story? Not wrapped up in military jargon and civilian terms that employer can understand.
Vets really have eye-opening experiences while they're at these mentoring sessions. I feel like they don't just get to meet other vets who are going through the same things that they are, but they also get to meet people in the business who are willing to help them.
Edge for Vets workshops are offered in New York, Massachusetts, and Florida, and we're expanding rapidly, so look for us in your area.
Well, here we are. Here we are in your area today, New York. Let me take what you saw in the video and break it out for you specifically. We talk about the online course to help you create the plan for success. Vets, I sent you a copy of the Edge for Vets workbook. You all have this, and we're gonna go in now and use the remainder of this program to work specifically on helping you create a draft for your plan for success. And then after this workshop today, I'm going to be sending you the access code so that you can get into the online course, and through a series of videos and exercises, you're going to take these workbook pages and make your notes on paper and then transfer them to the computer, watch videos and do exercises, and you see the 4 boxes on that on our screen there. Let me break them out for you. These are the 4 elements, if you recall. At the beginning, I said the Edge for Vets has 4 components to it, and they are a vision statement, a value statement, a skills statement, and an action plan. And the way it works is that the videos on the online course will take you through identifying the kind of work that you want to do, and then you'll be able to do the exercises to create a statement in that area, a vision statement that will articulate where you want to aim your skills and interests to get that job that can lead to a career. So that's going to be step one in the process. Then the two middle boxes really are the core of what your strengths are. We see often in editorials, the editorials say that companies want to hire vets for what they call their leadership strengths. Well, we take those leadership strengths and we break them out into the values that you develop and the skills that you develop. And in the online course, you're going to get a chance to watch videos, do exercises, and break out first a value statement, then a skill statement, and then the fourth piece, you're going to pull it all together and learn on the online course how to create an action statement to express to that HR person. Well, you've heard many of them on the call with us today, but your plan for success is going to be able to articulate in your own language how you can use your values and skills from the military, put them into action to perform at a high level and help the company succeed. And that's, you see the word at the end, EDGE, it's that process. Vision, values, skills, action, a plan for success in those areas that gives you the edge where the HR person then has something to evaluate you on that's concrete proof that you've translated your skills. Saying that, let me show you what the final product is. It looks like you see one of our vets there who, after he did the online course, he holds up his plan for success. And let me say also, if folks could make sure you're on mute. I'm hearing a little bit of background noise. So if you can just make sure you're on mute, we'll unmute you when it comes time to the discussion. But that plan for success has the 4 parts to it. The online course allows you to watch the videos, do the exercises, create that plan, and then you'll be able to submit it to us. And it's that plan in combination with your resume that when you hand that into the HR person, gives them an extra window into the value that you can bring to the company. And that's why we find that up to 8 out of 10 vets who do our system do in fact get hired, because they've got that edge to help them get hired. So saying that, let me just continue and show you on the website. I'm not going to play this for you today, but you go to the website, there are success stories where vets who've taken the program and now are performing at a high level, we profile them. In fact, I think Steve mentioned that Bobby Lopez was with us today. And let me just break for a second to call a shout out to Bobby if you're still there. Bobby, are you still there? Just say.
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay.
Thank you for the shout out.
Yeah, I do want to give you a shout out because you took Edge for Vets. You got hired by Macquarie. You are one of our success vets, and you're living proof that the system works. So thank you, Bobby, and we'll bring you back in 2 weeks to talk specifically about the kind of work you're doing and how you're applying your skills to move forward and help during the connection phase. Will that be okay? Are you going to come back?
Yes, I will.
All right, great. So there you see there's a video on the website that shows success vets. There is also a link, and I'm going to send this to you, that shows you how the online course works. Vets, you're going to get that from me in addition to the access. And this is going to take you through all the processes so you have a complete comfort level as you dive in and work on your plan for success. But today what I want to do is I want to use the remainder of our time, and the first half of the program today was sort of, getting you a comfort level on what it is and how it works and the benefits that you can get. The last part of the program today before we break is going to be actually rolling up the sleeves and doing some exercises and involving our mentors from our partner companies to chip in and support you as we take some of the elements from the plan for success and help you start that process of creating your draft. So you see on the right, the Circle for Success is where we developed this plan for success concept from. You see on number 1 and 2, your values and skills. Those are the strengths that you bring from the military. The action plan expresses those. And then when you successfully express those in terms of an action statement, you bring that into the to the employer for an edge, And the goal is to help you achieve your vision to get hired and get a job that can set you on the pathway to a career. Now, on the left side, you see the word values. I highlighted it because of the 4 elements. What I'd like to do today is take an element or two and just do some practice around it. You're going to get all of this, you know, from me and be able to do it yourself at your own pace online. But just while we have everybody together and you have a chance to get some feedback from the mentors, I'm going to start with a discussion around the value statement and how you create a values statement. The question I'm going to ask you, and Vets, you have your draft of the workbook. If you open it up, you'll see that in there is a space where you can, today as we help you start a draft, you've got a space where you can craft for yourself, you know, some notes that you can then use when you get to the online course. But the question for you is this: what values did you develop in the military that guide you today? Because the point is that companies are looking for people who can bring value to the company. And what we know is that the veterans, and you heard it from Doug, from Ed, from Jimmy, from others, you've got these enormous values that can be an asset for you. But the key is that you have to be able to express them and put them out there so that the interviewer can know that you can bring those values. So using my golf metaphor, I'm going to tee it up with a quick video on values, and then we're going to do a little roundtable discussion.
You don't have to be a military veteran to possess strong values, but chances are because you served in the Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force, or Coast Guard, your values run deep. Companies want to hire you for the military values that you can bring to their workplace. In this section, we'll help you create a values statement to show them just how valuable you can be. Go to your Edge for Vets workbook. There we've listed the values espoused by each branch in the military. Nobody needs to remind you of the values promoted by your branch, whether it's the 14 leadership traits of the Marines, Army's 7 core values, or the value statements espoused by the Air Force, Navy, or Coast Guard. But you need to reaffirm for yourself how strongly you are guided by these values so you can make that known to job recruiters. To gain clarity, we'll ask you to read through the values from your branch and record in the workspace how these values remain important for you today. Secondly, we'll give you space to tell how you applied your values during your time in the military. And thirdly, we'll ask you to tell how your military values continue to serve as your foundation for action in your civilian life today. Then we give you space to create a values statement. That will add an ace of diamonds to your hand to sell yourself in an interview.
Okay, so let's go back to and do a sample discussion here around the values statement. In your workbook, you've got, no matter what branch you are in, we break out the values from your branch. And what I'd like to ask you to do, Vets, is identify values that you developed in the military that you inculcated them so strongly, they're such a part of you that you carry them over into everything you do today. Because if you can express that, you go into an interview and an interviewer says, well, tell me about yourself. And you say, well, can I tell you about my military values? And the door's open for you to talk. You say, whatever branch you're in, what values did you develop? And talk about the ones that are like so strongly inculcated that everything you do is inspired by those values. That is what's going to give you the edge in the interview and get somebody inclined to say yes to you. So let me open the floor to any of our vets. And again, we're just, opening the floor. Anybody, any vets, unmute yourself. Is there a vet who would like to talk about the branch you were in and values that you developed in your branch that are so strong in you that you carry them over into everything you do today? Is there a vet who would like to offer that? Because I'm going to ask the mentors to offer feedback on how those values can have value at your company. Could ask if there's a vet there who wants to
I'll be happy to start, Tom. I think the main value that I was taught as a young lieutenant was output. It's about output and outcome. Tell me what the outcome is and what is the plan to visualize that outcome. It's always about outcome, okay? We have to win. Here's how we're gonna do it. But it's about outcomes always.
Great. And is there a vet that would like to add to that? Cassandra's absolutely right. Action is critical, and outcome is critical, and their values, whether they are integrity, selfless service, initiative, whatever values that your branch espoused, you lived with those, and I'm sure they're still part of you now. Is there a vet that would like to?
Walter Pagan here from New York, Army veteran.
Go ahead, Walter.
Selfless service. Here in the now, serving New York native, New York born, trying to give back, mentorship, all of the 7 values of the Army. I'm 54 young, Mr. Tom Murphy. I'm pleased, first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity. And the values that carry on with me would be mainly selfless service, the honor to serve somebody, to mentor someone, to be mentored is of great value to me.
Wow, that's wonderful, Walter. And this idea of selfless service that obviously you inculcated in the Army. I'd love to hear from one of our HR folks from our partner companies as to how selfless service might be a value that is embraced by your company. Is there, close the loop on the other side for any of the vets that are participating. And by the way, any of the vets on the call, as folks like Walter identify values for them, I want you to think of that in terms of yourself and how what Walter says applies to you as well. But I want to build the bridge from the other side with our HR reps. You're hearing selfless service. Can you underscore for our vets how selfless service is a value that your company espouses, embraces rather? And you can just, somebody wants to unmute themselves and pitch in from the company side. I'd love to hear you.
Hi, this is Lisa Janya with the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That is something that really resonates, I think, with me and with everyone who works at the New York Fed. The Fed is a mission-oriented, driven firm. Most of us are there for the public service aspect. We want to give back. And by safeguarding the U.S. economy and helping to keep our financial institutions strong so that the taxpayer is protected and, the individual depositor is protected, that's something that's really, really important. And we very much value, that strong, initiative in terms of having a mission-driven, focus. So that selfless service is something that we value tremendously. And the mentorship as well. We're very big on, providing mentorship and training and helping, our employees. And just a small plug, we do have a Veterans Resource Network. And I neglected to say that earlier. So I just wanted to make sure that people knew that veterans are very important to the bank. So thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa, thank you on that point, because you're talking about the company valuing mentorship, and what you've just demonstrated, if I heard you correctly, is that if a vet comes into an interview and is able to talk in terms of selfless service that they developed in the Army that they can now bring to your company, it sounds to me like what you're saying is that's something that's going to give them that edge when they come and interview with you. So thanks on that piece. What I want to do is I want to keep this rolling for you, vets, because you're going to get the online course that's going to take you through this process as well, for you to articulate your own personal statement in this regard that's going to go into your plan. But remember, I was saying that the 2 key elements of your plan for success that articulate your strengths are the values you develop and the skills that you develop. So what I want to do now as we continue this discussion and help you create your draft is I want to go to the second discussion, which is how to develop a skill statement. And I can tell you this, that no matter what interview you go to, you're going to be asked, tell me about your skills. What can you do? And what our research shows is that vets know that they got good at things in the military, but the critical piece and where they say they benefit from support is to be able to articulate those skills in civilian language. So the question becomes how you do that. And this is what we want to help you with in this segment. If you're going to be thinking in terms of skills to take those and express those in an interview, go to the branch you were in, the duties that you had, and then go to what you got good at carrying out the duties. And I'm going to tee that up with a video, and then we're going to come back on the other side and talk about skills.
Imagine this, an interviewer asks you about your skills and you say, my MOS was AMS. I graduated in the top 5% in the military school, including PLDC. I represented my unit at the NCO boards, throwing in every bit of jargon you can muster, and you get this. That's the look of a mile-wide gap opening between you and the dream job you've been working so hard to land. But all is not lost. In this video, we'll show you how to do what business leaders say you need to do most, and that is translate your military skills into language for the civilian workplace. Here's a comment from a business leader at McKinsey. Companies want strong change leaders, people who can lead by example. But there's one problem for companies. How do we find leaders with these skills? You can be the answer to that question, but you have to show companies that you have the skills that they need. There are 3 steps to translate your military skills into tools for civilian success. First, identify duties you had in the military. You had many, but list 3 that stand out. For example, if your MOS, as shown above, was AMS, Aviation Maintenance Service, your duties might have included 1, keeping meticulous records, 2, amassing knowledge, 3, reporting on a regular basis. Next, list 3 things you got good at in a technical way as you carried out your duties. You might say 1, highly organized, 2, data collection, 3, sharp analysis. In addition to technical skills, you developed intangible skills, and you want to talk about them as well. We work with 4 intangible skills in NYEdge for Vets called resiliency strengths. They are adaptability, engagement, optimism, and proaction. We'll ask you to list ways you got good at being resilient. For example, you might say, adaptable. I learned how to adjust on the spot. Engagement, team player. Optimism, keeping myself up. Proaction, when I saw a problem, I acted. Again, we give you a worksheet to record your experiences and break out your own technical and intangible skills to create a skills statement. Once you do that, you will put another ace in your hand. Your skills statement is your ace of clubs. With each step, you're upping your chances to ace your interview. And that's our goal for you.
Okay, vets, you're going to get these videos in the online course. Going to take you through the whole process for creating a statement in each of the areas. But use this time now that we've got the support from our mentors to get feedback on how you can create a draft for a statement in these areas. And in terms of a skills statement, the question is, you know, whatever your MOS was, whatever the duties were, what I'd like you to focus on is what did you get good at? So let me open the floor. If there's a vet who wants to talk about the branch you were in and duties that you had, but specifically key to what you got good at carrying out the duty, because that is not only going to be a tip-off as to what your skill is, but it's also going to be the translated piece where you're going to be able to go into an interview and just talk in regular language about what your skills are, and not wrapped up in jargon as you saw in the video, but talk about it in a way that can get that interviewer, who, as you saw with Ed on the video earlier, the interviewer may have no military experience. So you want to be able to express your skills in language where somebody who's a civilian interviewer with no military experience can understand. And the intention here is to give you that practice. So let me open the floor. If there's a vet, you know, and again, don't be shy, unmute yourself. If we've got a vet who wants to field that question. What duties did you have? What branch were you in, obviously, but what duties did you have? And what did you get good at in carrying out your duty? And you know, share that with the group.
Okay, I would like to, if you guys can hear me.
Hey, Joe.
I am Joseph. Hi, how you guys doing? And thank you for having me today. My name is Joseph Turner. You can call me Joe. I am a Navy veteran, and I served in the Navy for 10 years as a naval officer. One of the things that I take every job that I've had since is really to be able to work in a team environment and the understanding of working with individuals from a vast different backgrounds and culture. That is really the asset that I think the Navy has taught me really well. And so you're able to quickly work in a team environment from people from all different backgrounds of life and culture. So I really enjoy that, and really the diversity that it brings to the table. Not only the diversity, yeah.
Joe, I don't mean to interrupt, but I want you've said something very important. I want to focus in on it if we can, and then open the floor to our mentors to support you, because I think you're on the absolute correct track in terms of identifying skills that a company is going to find attractive. But you know, again, in the skills, you've got technical skills that you've developed, and I'm sure in the Navy you had, you know, specific duties that you had, and you got good at things in a technical way. And then there's the other side of it. They call them intangible skills or soft skills. And from what I'm hearing from you, you got good at those as well. But let me press you first on the technical side. You said you were in the Navy. What did you do specifically in the Navy?
And so my I guess specialty was I was surface line officer. So basically I was a line officer and responsible for the engineering. So I was basically a engineering officer that was responsible for various divisions. So really leading people and managing folks from, you know, a diverse background.
Well, I think, Joe, you're actually talking about two things, and I'm just teeing it up here because I want our mentors to jump in and back me up that you're onto something very critical here. You've shown how, as an engineer, you had, and I'm sure you were dealing with machines or some technical aspects of the ship, correct?
Yes, I was an engineering officer of the watch.
Okay,
so that's kind
and
of
so what kinds of mechanical things did you have to deal with?
Really, it's plant operations as a supervisor. So basically, I was responsible for supervising individuals that was responsible for the propulsion of the ship, and that was just one of them.
Okay, this is exciting for me hearing you, Joe, because you're talking about the propulsion, you're talking about the nuts and bolts of this ship working. And you got very good, obviously, on the engineering side in a technical way on that. But what you're adding, and this is what I'm going to open the floor to our mentors to back me up on. In addition to that, you had to work with people to get the machines to work. That's what I'm hearing. And you developed, I'm just trying to underscore for you that you got a powerful skills statement to write. And again, Joe, I want to use you as an example for all the other vets on the call to learn Joe's doing it correct. What he's talking about are technical skills that he developed around propulsion, et cetera, getting those machines to work, but then having to engage with people to get the people to participate, because as a supervisor, he had to lead folks to participate with him to get those machines to work. So you've got a skill set on the technical side, Joe, and on the intangible side, which is the engagement and the people skills. And I'm going to back out here, and please, our mentors, chime in here and say that he has a powerful story to tell as he goes into an interview and can say in his skills statement, on a technical level, this is what I got really good at. And then on a people level or intangible level, this is what I got good at. Somebody back me up that Joe is on the right track.
Yeah, Tom, this is Ed Riley. I think you're right on target here. I don't know what the absolute market is for people to be able to operate Navy-like ships in the civilian world, but I do know that people's ability to lead and commit to very important causes and to get them done and to understand how to get people to work together to be able to do that is a transferable skill that I think companies are looking for all the time. My experience has been the world of business has become much more complex in, say, the last 10 years, but in particular in the last 5 years and the last 2 years with COVID, in terms of organizational structures that were set in place and lasted for a long time now need to be very flexible. They need to be able to respond to different circumstances. And my observation is, in working with lots of military people over the years, is, you know, your sort of general life, it requires that you be able to deal with constantly changing environments, sometimes shortages of materials, sometimes very adverse conditions and so on, and yet you get the job done. And I think if you spend some time thinking about how you did that and how you'd like to be able to bring that experience into civilian life, you will have a story, if you will, a package that I'd love the HR people to try and respond to that. But I think you'd have a package of the skills so they can teach you some of the mechanical things they need to do in their particular job. What they can't teach you to do is to lead people, unless, well, we can, but if you come with that already on and you've proven that to be successful, I think you end up with a great edge up in the process of getting any of the new jobs you're going to be looking for.
Ed, thanks a million. And Joe, you know, you're getting affirmation there from the former national chairman of USO. So you're on the right track. Before we move on to the next segment, is there any other HR person that would like to back up Ed's point to Joe, that skill that he developed in being able to lead people or encourage people to follow along with him and get the job done is something that can be a powerful asset for them when they go into an interview? Anybody on the HR side back up that point?
I'm not HR, but I'll tell you, I've worked with a lot of military folks and worked with the mentoring, et cetera. And I think there's two pieces here, and you hit on it. One is the core skills, the technical skills, and that's almost your ticket to the show, right? The other piece is the piece that differentiates you and sets you over the top from the people you're competing with for the job. So I think I personally feel like your military story around that second piece is almost a no-brainer. Most all of you have experience with working under crazy pressure, working in collaborative teams, being committed to the mission, continuous learning. All these things are the soft skills that are going to differentiate you from the typical graduate coming out of college that doesn't have that experience level. I think the tricky piece, and when I just heard Joe talk about it a little bit, I realized he was trying to cover it all with a short statement. I would maybe encourage you to pick out something that's applicable to the job you're searching for and get real specific. So Joe, we were in a very dangerous situation, or we had to get out to sea, we had to get back. There was some emergency situation where you had to apply some of those things and use that as an example so that people can see that you had that technical ability, but then all of those soft skills you had to apply to make that thing happen. And I think sometimes when you get too general, people get a little lost and they don't understand exactly what you accomplished and how that might apply to the job. So I would encourage you to pick out two or three really good stories that you're particularly proud of a specific event that required you to exercise those soft skills, but also maybe even translate into some of the skill set and the experience that you need. So I'm just throwing that out quickly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback on that, what Vic said, I agree. Coming prepared with some examples where you may have collaborated with others to get something done, and how you went about doing that. Also, just judgment. I mean, those are things that are so critical and are much harder to teach. So thinking about examples where you have used your judgment under time pressure and difficult situations can always, really be helpful as well. And sort of tailoring that to in a way that can resonate with your audience when you think about the job itself. What are the responsibilities based on what you see, right? What are the types of things that folks might want to hear based on that?
Thank you, Danielle from Federal Reserve Bank. Did I see Jim with his hand up? Jim, did you want to add to that as well?
Yeah, I was just going to say, having interviewed a number of vets and hired them in different aspects of my job, both at previous employers. The thing that sometimes it happens, and I think what Vic was picking on was really you need to tell a story. You're telling a story, and you don't want to downplay the situation that you're in. You're in this, you're powering a ship. You're under a command decision. You're sticking to this core concept of working with your team. You're making the team successful, and you're making ultimately the organization successful. So whatever ship that you're on, it's the fact that it can move was ultimately your guide for success. At the same time, you have a diverse group of people, different ages, different skill sets that you need to manage to a goal and be successful at. And so by telling a story or two, I wouldn't have too many, but a story or two, it really does change the dynamic. And I'll stop in a second. A friend of mine he wrote engagement orders in Iraq. And he could have gone down a whole path around the complexity of that. But what he brought, when I was speaking to him, what he brought to was the idea that it was a complex situation that he needed to translate to actionable activity and to have it communicated to a wide variety of people, from the commanding general to the individual foot soldier on the ground. And then in a compliance function, that translates extraordinarily well. And when I did hire him, I saw that skill execute incredibly well, frankly, and I learned from him. So I think you'll see a lot of that in your own work experience.
Jim, thank you. And you lead to the next point that I want to make here, which is that this is not easy stuff. We've been doing this for 10 years now. And the reason that we do NYEdge4Vets is because doing everything vets that the mentors are telling you to do, we realize it's not easy to do. I put a term up there called we to I. And what we mean by that is that in the military, everything is sublimating yourself to team and the mission, which is, necessarily the objective. You're in the military brings you in, we sublimate individuality, we all go, everything is about team and the mission, and everything becomes about we. But that's the military. You now are out of the military and you're looking for employment in the civilian sector. And when I say I'm not talking about I in a self-absorbed, egotistical way. I mean, as Jim and others are telling you, you've got to go into that interview as an I. You've got to go in and express what you did. And so you're getting invaluable feedback from our mentors today who are in decision-making roles at their companies, who understand that you bring enormous assets from that we phase of your life. And we heard, Joe talking about it, the ability to work with people, diversity, handle people, get people to work together, enormous assets. But you have to put those into I terms. In other words, my role in that on the ship was, and that's what you're hearing from our mentors. And this is, by the way, what the online course is going to let you do. We're going to take you for the next 2 weeks, give you a chance to think clearly about the vision, the values, the skills, and the action statements, and be able to articulate those in your own language. I'm going to guide you through it with the course, bring you back in 2 weeks when you have clarity on what some of those strengths are. And I'm just giving you a taste today of the process of going through it, and you're getting wonderful feedback from our mentors. But as we get ready to close today, we've got another 10 minutes, but I just would like to open the floor to a group discussion around this idea that transition from the military back to civilian life is not a thing that is automatically easy. And therefore, a program like NYEdge4Vets can be helpful to you to take you through that process of identifying, in terms of the values, what you developed as a set of values that you carry over today, and in terms of skills, what you got good at that you can then, as Ed Riley says, transfer into the civilian sector. So let me open it up to the floor as we get ready to wrap up. And again, it's hard being called on, but if there's a vet out there who wants to answer this question, and tell us in your term how transition has been challenging. In other words, you're moving from one culture back into the civilian culture. Where has the difficulty, where have you found the difficulty in making that transition? And love to hear it from you. And also, if there are any of our mentors who've been in the military who want to address that issue, the transition is not automatically easy. Therefore, a program like this that brings veterans together with business mentors to support you in that process can be useful. I'd love to hear first from a vet, though, who wants to talk about the challenges of going from the civilian military culture back to civilian life might be. Anybody want to field that?
Army veteran Walter Pagan here.
Yeah, go ahead, Walter.
When you use the term transition, we're also used to using uniforms for identification. Coming back to the civilian world, as civilians, you have civilian attire. So how the transition goes forward to somebody identifying and seeing one for self or as an individual versus as a soldier, that type of transition. Lingo, jargon, the type of way of our character and our demeanor changes to adaptability of what the civilian life is per se perceives us versus the soldier that is disciplined, or the soldier, coming back to a civilian world where things are different as far as vocabulary. That's also a challenge.
Yeah, you're talking about all the jargon and everything. That's a no-no when you go into an interview. Any other vets want to share? Thank you, Walter, for that.
You're welcome.
Any other vets want to share, how transition has had challenges, and then our mentors can maybe, who have been in the military and have been through it, can offer some suggestions for you? Any vets want to field that?
Sure, I can offer some experiences I've had transitioning out from the military. This is Jesse Russell here, Marine veteran, Fordham senior. I think one of the most difficult things about trying to transition to a civilian career is finding the pipeline that you're after. Whereas in the military, everything is numbered and very organized. I want to do this, and there are literally manuals that tell you exactly how to do it and get promoted and follow that pipeline. In the civilian world, everything is very ambiguous. There are jobs that you don't even know about until you happen to find them or meet somebody. And there aren't exactly pipelines that lead to certain destinations. So I find that that's a pretty difficult transition.
Wow, Jesse, you nailed it, because that's our objective in helping you develop a network. And again, my hat's off to all of the folks on the business side who are with us today to show you that you have the support on the other side for that. Jim, did you want to add something? I saw your hand up there.
Yeah, I was going to say that challenge that Jess just outlined is very familiar to me, because I have a 20-year-old that's actually a junior at Xavier University in Cincinnati, and the challenge is, and I remember myself at that age as well, it's just overwhelming. Well, you have tools now beyond. I mean, this thing is frankly fantastic. What I'm hearing today is just unbelievable. The fact that someone comes to an interview and talks about values, I'm like, I'm done. That's just unbelievable. But the other part about trying to find those jobs, you have tools like Indeed. And I say that because it allows you to search for things and have and become aware of things. And what you're not looking at when you do that is you're not looking at the title of the job, but you're going to open it up and look at the description about the skills that they're looking for, and think broadly about those skills and how you apply yours to it. And then you'll see keywords, and that just begins to unravel a world that doesn't seem transparent, and begins to allow you to kind of access it. It's something I'm doing with my son and some of his friends, and it's proving to be helpful. It's not a godsend, but it is a little bit of an edge for them, they've told me.
Thanks, Jimmy, for your specific response to Jesse. And Jesse, I'm just picking up on what you said, that you're not aware of all of the opportunities that are out there as you come. And I think Jim's touching on a key point there. Research. You got the tools to do the research, but it starts with a mindset that your world can be broad for you. And that's what we're trying to do with Ed4Vets. We're trying to get you to think, well, wait a minute, I've got an asset here. Like at Yankee Stadium, when Judge gets up and they all stand up, all rise up and everything. Why are they doing that? Well, because he's got an asset. What's his asset? He can hit the ball 500 feet. You have an asset that includes the values. And I think, Jim just nailed it there for you. Go into an interview and get clear on what values you develop and talk about them. But the other side of it are the skills that you develop, like you heard from Joe, the technical skills, the intangible skills. Those two combine to give you an asset base that can be your ticket and can give you the edge. But again, Jesse, if I heard you correctly, about the difficulty of knowing what's out there, what Jim is saying is that use research and the tools available, but think broadly about what's possible for you. And then what we're seeking to do on our end is to create a network of support that's going to affirm that for you. As we get ready to wrap up, are there any other folks somebody wants to say something, please? Yes.
I just want to say, Jesse brought up a great point about not knowing what you don't know. That's like, that's a military saying. We all know you don't know what you don't know. So it's hard to figure that out. And when I transitioned, you think like, well, you want to maybe make a certain amount of money and have a title, but you don't know there's more to life and a job and a career than that. You want, physical health, mental health to be good because of the job. You want free time and you want to like what you do, but how do you know how a job that you're applying for is going to match those things? And the answer for that is in internships and informational interviews. I'm with Viacom CBS right now, which I love. But before that, I worked for a book publishing company, and I was an intern in the writers room for Blue Bloods. And you definitely get a sense of not only what your job entails in those positions, but the ecosystem around you. So there's not an internship that you guys are going to do that's going to be useless. Even if you find out you don't like what you're doing, you're going to learn about the tempo of that industry, the culture, the adjacent jobs, and the ecosystem. So internships are going to actually, even if they don't end up being the career field you want, they're going to give you that experience. And then the other thing is, if you can't get an internship or you don't want to invest the time, do an informational interview. We have all these, professionals that have, shared their time with you. Connect with them offline and say, hey, I'd like to hear about, your experience. And when you do that, and when you know about what that experience is, you go to those interviews more prepared. The way I got my Blue Bloods internship was just that. I found an intern and I interviewed them and I said, what is this like? What does this mean? What do you do? What's the ecosystem? So when I ended up coincidentally, right in front of the showrunner, and I was able to pitch him, right? As you guys are learning to pitch people with your story, I was able to say I did my research. So you have the informational interviewing, which with LinkedIn and as Walter said, these online jobs, you just have all the information at your fingertips. And don't be afraid of going and getting those internships, even if they don't end up being what you want in the long term, because there's no experience you guys are going to have that is going to hurt you. You're only going to learn more. So,
well, Melanie,
I'm sorry, this is Lori. I just wanted to add something quickly, if I may.
Yes, absolutely. Jump in.
So in total, I think what we've been talking about is for the basic skills. I mean, let's say that's the cake. You need those, say it's 3 years of mechanical experience and a degree in mechanical engineering. So companies are usually pretty strict on what it is they have that they want. Those are qualifications that you need. Then the next part of it, we talked a lot about this, is the icing on the cake, which is the organizational skills, teamwork, management skills, creativity, values, and so forth. And what we use often in our interviewing is the theory that past experience is the best indicator of future performance. So when you look at what those skills are they want for that position and what you've done, you match them up as you go along in the job description. Okay, they're looking for organizational skills. How can I show how organized I was in the past? They're looking about motivational skills. How can I show my motivation level from what I've done? And then the third thing is that we still do some behavioral type interviewing questions, which we talked a little bit about too, which an interviewer will ask you, what was the situation, what was the action, and what was the result? So SAR, situation, action, and result. And those are the stories that we talked about before. So, okay, I was in this situation, I had to make this happen. We didn't have enough supplies. It was very difficult, but this is what I did to make it work, and it was successful. So just to recap, those things, especially, well, in all fields, but in corporate for us are major.
Thank you. And you've teed it up perfectly for our summary as we get ready to wrap up. That's what you've heard from our mentors today is affirmation that you have values and skills that are attractive to them. You heard about opportunities. Well, 2 weeks from now on the 23rd, we're going to bring you back and the companies are going to showcase those opportunities for you. But between now and 2 weeks from now, you see number one, invitation to the online course. What you're going to get from me over the weekend is access to the online course. Nobody's going to come follow up. It's going to be ball in your court. You're going to have videos, exercises, go through the online course, and you're going to emerge with that plan for success that, as each of the mentors is saying, is going to give you the translation piece to sell yourself in an interview. Then you come back, you see Zoom 2, you're going to get an invitation. By the way, the link that you used to get in today is going to be the same link that you used to come back on April 23rd at 1 o'clock. And our companies are going to have the floor and you're going to hear again from them. You met them today, but they're going to come through each of the companies and say, these are job opportunities and this is how you apply. So it's going to be a real roll up the sleeves going in the direction of opening opportunities for you. And a final note, if you have not put your name and your email in the chat, please do, because that's going to be how I'm going to be able to follow up with you and make sure that you get your access to the online course. So in summary on my side, just pulling it all together, the reason that we do Edge for Vets, and the term I use is underemployed. The reason we do Edge for Vets is because one of the things that we want to see not happen is for vets to just take any job because you need work, and so you just take any job. We're pushing you in the direction, you've heard it from our mentors, to think broadly and use Edge for Vets as a way to open the world for you and use the tools, the online course, et cetera, to land a job that can help you match your interests and your skills to a job that will lead to a career for the life that you want, so that you will not ever be underemployed, that you'll be able to get a job and a career that fulfills your passion. So that's my closing statement to you. You see over on the left, that's one of our vets, Aaron. He's proudly showing his certificate. When you take the online course, it's going to guide you through creating your plan for success. And then at the end, you print out that certificate. And I'm telling you, we find that up to 8 out of 10 vets who do this get that job. I just want to close one more time by thanking our company partners and our executive guests who joined us today for your show of support for what we're trying to do, but your show of support for these vets who, are making that transition from the military culture back into civilian life. And, like we've been talking about, it's not always an easy thing to do. So we're looking to give you a roadmap. And I'm just enormously grateful. We would not be able to do this without our company partners and our supporters who support us. So thank you very much. And if there's anybody who just would like to offer a closing statement, and then we will have this video and we'll send it all out to anybody who wants to watch it to refresh themselves. But as we close, is there anybody who would like to offer a closing statement?
Tom, this is Pat Curran. I just wanted, because I have to jump as well, and I just want to give the couple tips that I think will be very helpful for veterans if they haven't write this down and help them immensely. Number one, remember that the purpose of a job interview is to convince the other person, the hiring manager, you're the one to solve their problem. So anytime you attack a job, come from that angle. Number two, nobody cares if you are enlisted or an officer in the civilian world. They don't. So drop that stereotype from your head. You're here to help live a successful life in the civilian world. Civilians don't even know that, so build that into your thinking. Number three is, especially under COVID right now, what I'm seeing is those individuals that can care about people are the ones that we're looking for, because very often we have to put the persons around us back together again and point them in a direction to keep them productive. If you could tell a story about that in this COVID environment, that can help differentiate yourself compared to others. And the final point, and I say this from the perspective of Pfizer and the military experience, winning matters. Every day a vaccine that's effective and safe isn't out there, people die. That's been our thought process for the past year. I think that mindset is that every veteran, we understand that winning matters. Don't be over boastful about that, but make sure people get that thread about you, that you understand that winning matters. Thanks, Tom.
Great, thank you, Pat. And did I see Ed Riley with your hand up? Ed, did you want to do a close? Oh. Anybody want to do one more close?
Tom, if I could, I've got a PSA for all the veterans. The VA is now giving vaccinations to all veterans and their spouses and caregivers. Being prepared for the workplace means being prepared. And when we return to work, if some go back to the office, that might be a requirement to have the vaccination. So I strongly encourage you to get vaccinated. It's a very simple process. Again, even if you're not registered with the VA, you take your DD-214 in, and they'll register you and give you the vaccination.
Great, Matt. And any information you want to share, send it to me. And this weekend, I'm going to be doing an overture out to everybody who participated. So I'll be sure to include that if you've got some links. I saw somebody else, one more person had their hand up before we close. Yes.
Oh, I had wanted to say, I don't know who CHRMLCS was, but they made an amazing point about how recruiters look at previous experience for the future. And I just want to let all the veterans out there know you can pivot. And if you were like, I was an Arabic linguist, now I'm in media and entertainment. Let's say you were in broadcast journalism in the military and now you want to do finance. To her point, you're in college. You have like the rest of your college career to start padding out your resume with events that are your past that will like help recruiters see what you're going to do in the future. So when I got out of the military, I didn't have any writing or storytelling experience. I worked with Matt at, with the Veterans Association. I worked with the English department, and that really helped my resume look like what I wanted it to look like for recruiters. So anything you want to do, you want to work in like pharmaceuticals or, for Pfizer, you want to work for, finance companies. There are clubs, there are, mentorships. You can do that now while you're in college so that those recruiters see, even if what you did in the military had nothing to do with what you want to do, you're putting the time in. So you guys all got this. You can achieve everything you set out to do. And I believe in you. So, and go get your vaccines. Yeah.
Thank you, Melanie. I'm going to close it now and thank everybody. You're going to get, we've got 40 vets in the cohort this time. You're all going to get this this video, and if you'd like to refresh yourself on, you're welcome. See you back in 2 weeks. Use the same Zoom link. You'll get a reminder from us, but just wanted to give you a heads up that we're looking forward to bringing this program to fruition for our vets and make contacts for them. All of the vets will get the contacts for the company mentors, and the company mentors, you're going to get a list of the vets so that we can match you together. Thank you, everybody, for your time, and look for an email from me with a link to this video, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody.